Hi everyone, I'm Callie from Asana by Callie, and today I'm going to be taking you through a gentle, slow flow yoga class. The last few videos I've posted, a lot of the feedback I've been getting is that you guys want a shorter class, only about 30 minutes or so, and that you want something that's accessible for all ages and stages of yogis, whether you're a beginner or a very advanced yogi. And so this class is a response to that. So basically what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be taking you through my favorite sets of warm-ups and step backs, and we won't get to the jump backs or the standing balance poses or any of the more strength-based poses. And this class is just intended to be a gentle, slow flow warm-up type class. For this class, you will need yoga blocks, or if you don't have yoga blocks, you can use substitutes. I like to use big hardback books or pillows or blankets, anything that can hold a little bit of your weight and bring the ground closer to you. So without any further ado, let's get started on our mat. You can start off in Virasana, hero's pose like I'm currently doing, sitting back on your heels, or if it's more comfortable for you, you can sit in an easy seat, Sukhasana, which is just cross legs. Wherever you are, sit up tall, feel the weight of your sit bones into the mat, and draw the crown of your head up toward the sky. You can bring your hands to your knees or your thighs, and then slowly start turning inward and thinking about your breath. Inhale, breathe in fully all the way to the bottom of your lungs. Exhale, open your mouth and sigh it out. Inhale, breathe in fully, fill up your lungs completely all the way down into your belly. Exhale, sigh it out. One more time, breathe in deeply as far as you can, all the way down into your belly, maybe even into your hips. And exhale, sigh it out. Now seal your lips, breathe in and out deeply through your nose. Continue at your pace, following your breath. You can close your eyes if that feels good to you, or maybe you keep them open and bow your chin slightly. So September is Self-Care Awareness Month. And although September is almost over, I have been thinking all month about ways that we practice self-care. And there's so many ways to practice self-care, and it can vary depending on your personality and what feels good to you as self-care. But one thing that I think that we can all practice, not only in September, but moving forward, is about how we think to ourselves, how we talk to ourselves. It's easy to be down on yourself, to think a negative thought about yourself, about your body. And I think that we can all really learn from allowing those thoughts to come, but then just as they come, let them go just as freely. Those thoughts don't have to define you. And once you've had that thought, if you release it and let it go, and then replace it with a more positive thought, putting yourself in a positive light, then I think we can practice self-care in that way. And that's something you can do throughout the day as you're at work, cleaning the kitchen, whatever it is that you're doing. I think you can practice self-care by just thinking about yourself in a more positive manner. So with that in mind, throughout this practice, if you feel a negative thought coming on, allow it to happen, step back and observe it, and then let it go and replace it with a more positive thought. If you're in a pose and the pose is really hard and you start to get down on yourself thinking about how this pose is too hard and I wish my body would do this, that, or the other, allow that thought to come. Just as easily exhale it out, breathe it out, let it go, And then replace it with a more positive thought. Maybe you replace it with, wow, my body can do incredible things, and I'm still working on doing even more incredible things. Or maybe you replace it with, wow, I've come a long way in my yoga practice. My body is doing the best that it can. With all of that in mind, on your next exhale, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder, and then roll your chin down toward your chest until your left ear comes to your left shoulder. Then roll back towards your chest, right ear to right shoulder. Continue with this rolling motion of your neck, following your pace with your breath. Just working the kinks out. As you do this, continue to breathe deeply in and out through your lungs. Take one more roll each direction, and then we'll meet in a neutral spine. On your next inhale, sweep your arms high up overhead. Exhale your right hand down by your right hip, and then exhale and bring your left arm over. As you do this lateral stretch, stay up tall and keep an open chest. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale your left arm up and over. Inhale to neutral. Exhale your left arm up and over. I think I messed up my lefts and rights just now, but you've got the drill. And inhale, bring your right arm up and over, left arm to the mat. Inhale up, exhale, right arm to the mat, left arm up and over. Inhale it up one more time, this time left hand down to the mat, right arm up and over. And inhale back to a neutral spine. You can tent up onto your fingertips here with your hands right beside your hips. Stretch your chest and chin up toward the sky. This should give you just a little bit of length after those lateral stretches. And then exhale, come back to your neutral spine. This time roll over your shins. We're going to set up for our table. So make sure to take a moment to set up here with your shoulders directly over your wrists, your hips directly over your knees. On your inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, cow. Exhale, round your spine, send your heart between your shoulder blades, cat. Inhale up for cow. Exhale, cat. Take 3 more, following your breath, your pace, adding in any movements that you might need. Maybe that's a side-to-side movement, or a forward and back, or maybe you take some hip circles. And when you finished your 3rd round on your own, we will meet in a neutral spine. Once you're back in your neutral spine, plant your left hand in front of your face. Sweep your right hand up high to the sky. Exhale and thread the needle. Send your right ear and right shoulder down to the mat. And you can stay here with your left hand or walk it out so it's long in front of you for a twist here. Breathe in and out fully. And when you're ready, walk your left hand back in. Sweep your right arm back up to the sky. Exhale, lower it. This time, plant your right hand in front of your face. Sweep your left hand up to the sky. Exhale. And press your left ear, left shoulder into the mat. You can keep your right hand where it is or walk it out long in front of you. Again, breathing in and out fully here. Bring your right hand back underneath you. Sweep your left arm up to the sky and then plant both hands. When you're ready, tuck your toes, lift your knees up off the mat, send your hips high to the sky for downward facing dog. You can stay in this short down dog or walk your hands about 1 finger handprint out in front of you to make a longer stance. Once you're in your downward facing dog, take a moment to pedal your feet left and right. Walk your dog. Allow some space to come into this pose. Once you feel good in this pose, allow stillness to come. Still breathe in and out fully. Assess your thoughts. How are you thinking? Are you being kind to yourself? On your next inhale, come up onto your tippy toes, then drop both heels over to the right side. So you're in this lateral stretch for a down dog. Press into both of your hands evenly. Keep sending your hips up to the sky. And you should feel a stretch in your entire left side body. Inhale back up to neutral. Stay on your tippy toes and exhale your heels to the left side. This time you should feel a stretch in your entire right side body. Keep pressing into both hands evenly. Inhale, come up onto your tippy toes. And this time, inhale as you roll forward into a plank. Lower your knees down to the mat. And then stay here if this feels good in this modified plank, and work on actively pushing the ground away. Really engaging through your shoulders to push the ground away. Or go ahead and take a few press-ups here for a modified chaturanga. If you decide to do that, keep your elbows in super tight and press up. That's 1. You can take however many you'd like. I'm going to take 5. When you've finished your reps, retuck your toes so you're back in a plank, and then exhale, send your hips high to the sky, downward facing dog. Walk your toes out wide on the mat so your pinky toes come to the very edges of your yoga mat, and then slowly walk your hands back so you're in a wide-legged forward fold at the back of your mat. Allow gravity to do the work here. Just hang. Let your arms hang, let your head hang. You can keep your legs straight here as I'm doing, or if it feels better to bend your knees, absolutely bend your knees. You can grab opposite elbows, gently sway back and forth, taking a ragdoll. Release the grip if you have it, and then slowly roll your way up to standing, 1 vertebrae at a time. So you're standing in Tadasana at the top of your mat, at the back of your mat rather. Inhale and sweep your arms high overhead. Exhale and sweep your arms back behind you. Reach, reach, reach so you could grab your palms, and then bend your elbows. Take the grip and stretch gently your knuckles down past your tailbone toward the ground. Then bring both hands over to your right hip. Slowly drop your right ear to your right shoulder. You should feel a stretch in the left side of your neck here. And gently begin to roll your chin up and down, back and forth. Find whatever feels good here. Find that place that needs just a little bit of extra love. And once you find it, maybe you stay for a few breaths. Continue breathing deeply. Inhale, your head rises, stretch your knuckles back down toward the ground behind you. Then bring your hands over to your left side. Drop your left ear to your left shoulder. And same thing on this side. Begin to roll your chin forward and back. Maybe left and right. Finding that place that needs just a little bit of extra love. Continue breathing deeply in and out through your nose. And when you're ready, inhale your head back up and your arms back down, stretch toward the ground. Release the grip and then slowly exhale and fold forward. Back into your wide-legged forward fold. Inhale for a half lift, straight spine. Exhale, fold. And then walk your hands back out long so you return to a downward facing dog. Bring your toes back underneath your hips and then slowly begin to start tiptoeing your way forward until you come into a wide-legged forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale for a half lift, straight spine. Exhale to fold. Again here, roll your way up to standing slowly. Stack one vertebrae at a time until you reach your Tadasana. Inhale your arms high overhead. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, half lift to a straight spine. Exhale, plant your hands and step your right foot back. Lunge. Stay in this lunge position for just a moment. Find space in this pose. And then step your left foot back to follow. Plank. Rock forward onto your toes. Lower your knees down to the mat if you need to. And then slowly keep your elbows in tight. Lower through your chaturanga all the way into your belly. Untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet into the mat, roll your shoulders back, and then inhale, peel your head and chest up, cobra. Exhale to lower back down. Retuck your toes, keep your knees grounded if you need to, press up through your chaturanga and plank all the way to downward facing dog. Once in your downward facing dog, bend your knees, let your knees come down to the mat, either out wide or right in front of you. Then sit your hips back for child's pose. Child's pose is always available to you anytime throughout this practice that you need it. It can be a great place to come back to for some grounding. Or maybe you come back here when you find yourself thinking negative thoughts and you need a reset. Whenever you're ready, retuck your toes, lift your hips high to the sky, return to downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, step your right foot between your thumbs, lunge. Stay for just a moment, take that pause, and then step your left foot up to follow, forward fold. Inhale, half lift with a straight spine, exhale, fold forward. Inhale this time, bend your knees, root to rise, sweep your arms high overhead, gaze up to your thumbs, exhale your hands to heart center or down by your sides for Tadasana. Inhale, sweep up, exhale and fold forward. Inhale, half lift to a straight spine, exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot back. Lower your left knee down to the mat and grab your blocks or block substitutes and come into this lunge position. I'm going to take my blocks on the highest setting for today because I've been really working into my back hip flexor, but you can take your blocks to whichever setting feels good for your body, and you might experiment with it. Once you're in this lunge position, scoop your hips forward so you get a nice stretch on this back hip flexor. Exhale and walk your hands back, sit your hips back, half splits. Keep a straight spine here and flex your right toes up toward the sky. Inhale, walk your hands forward, lunge. Exhale, walk them back, half splits. Keep that same straight spine, only fold as much as you can keep your spine straight. Inhale, walk your hands forward again to lunge. Exhale, walk them back, half splits. This time, find your straight spine first, and then exhale and round your spine like you can send your nose to your knee. And fold over top of your straight leg. Inhale up to your straight spine, and then walk your hands forward. Lunge. Set your blocks aside. Plant your hands, come up onto your back toes. Step your right foot back, plank. Rock forward onto your toes, lower your knees down to the mat if you need to, and then slowly begin to lower through your chaturanga until your belly meets the mat. On your inhale, roll your shoulders back, peel your head and chest up, cobra. Maybe this time you float your hands and use only the strength of your back to stay lifted. Exhale and lower. Inhale, retuck your toes, press through your chaturanga and plank all the way to your downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward, plant it between your thumbs. Lower your back knee down to the ground, untuck your toes, grab your blocks or block substitutes, and lunge. Scoop your hips forward. You should feel a stretch on your right hip flexor now. And exhale, walk your hands back, half splits. Point your left toes up to the sky and keep a straight spine. Inhale, walk it forward, lunge. Exhale, walk it back, half splits. Inhale, forward, lunge. Exhale, back, half splits. Same thing on this side. First, find your straight spine, and then after you've reached as far as you can with your straight spine, slowly begin to round your spine as you exhale so that your knee could come toward your nose, or your nose to your knee, rather. Inhale, back up to your straight spine, and then walk your hands forward. Lunge. Set your blocks aside, come up onto your back toes, and then step forward, fold. Inhale, half lift, straight spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend through your knees, root to rise, sweep your arms high overhead, and exhale your hands down to heart center or down by your sides. Inhale, sweep your arms up high overhead. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, half lift to a straight spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step your right foot back. You can lower your back knee down to the mat if you need to, or set a strong foundation, engage strongly through both legs, and wherever you are, plant your right hand and then sweep your left hand up to the sky for a twist. Exhale, bring your left hand back down to the mat. Step your left foot back, plank. Rock forward onto your toes, lower your knees to the mat if you need to, then slowly lower through your chaturanga until your belly meets the mat. Take your right arm out long beside you, palm down to the ground, and then slowly begin to roll back onto your shoulder. You can use your left toes as a kickstand behind you for a shoulder stretch here. Slowly roll back to neutral. Bring your right hand back underneath your shoulder. Stretch your left arm out to the side, palm down, and roll back onto your left shoulder, this time using your right toes as a kickstand. Roll back to center. Take both hands out wide outside the edges of your mat. Tense up onto your fingertips, elbows up to the sky. Press the tops of your feet into the mat and inhale up for wide cobra. Maybe this time you begin to press into your hands. Feel a little bit more height. Exhale and lower back down to the mat. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, come up onto your toes, press through your chaturanga, plank, all the way to downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your right leg up to the sky, stretch it up as high as you can, then bend your knee, exhale and bring your foot to the outside of your right hand. So your foot is on the outside edge of your mat and both hands are inside of your foot. This is lizard lunge. You can stay here with your left knee lifted off of the mat, or maybe you lower it down to the ground. We're going to be staying in lizard lunge for several breaths, so you have many options on where you can be. If you're on your hands and this feels good, then stay here. If you have a little bit of space left to give, you can maybe lower your forearms down to your blocks, or maybe your forearms even go down to the mat. Wherever you are is the perfect place to be. And if you begin to have negative thoughts creeping in, telling you that you should be doing something different, allow yourself to acknowledge those thoughts, and then just as quickly as they came, let them go. Replace them with something else. Maybe you replace them with, I'm in the perfect place for my body today. I'm going to stay here for 3 more deep breaths. Breathing in and out fully, taking the pose variation that is best for your body. Remember, your back knee can be lifted or down on the mat. Your hands can be on blocks or on the mat. Your forearms can be on blocks or on the mat. Whatever makes this pose accessible for you and feel good to your body. Whenever you're ready, come up onto your back toes, move any blocks out of the way if you had them, and then step your left foot forward so you come to a fold. Inhale, half lift, straight spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, sweep your arms high up overhead, and exhale your hands to heart center or down by your side. On your inhale, sweep up. Exhale and fold. Inhale up to a neutral spine. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your left foot back. You can stay here, or you can lower your left knee down to the mat. Wherever you are, engage with your strong foundation, and then plant your left hand. Sweep your right arm up to the sky for a twist. Exhale your right arm back down. Step your right foot back, plank. Rock forward onto your toes, and then slowly begin to lower all the way until your belly meets the mat. Untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet into the mat, and this time it's your choice. You can take Cobra as we've been doing, or maybe you start off with a little Cobra here, and then begin to push into your hands until you find Upward Facing Dog. Thighs off the mat as well. If you're in a Cobra, exhale and lower back down to the mat, then push up to your Downward Facing Dog. If you're in Upward Facing Dog, you can roll over the tops of your toes and meet in Downward Facing Dog. Wherever you are, inhale, sweep your left leg up to the sky, stretch it as far as you can, then exhale, bring it to the outside of your left hand. So you're in that same lizard lunge position on the other side. Left foot on the outside edge of your mat, both hands on the inside. You can stay here with your right leg lifted or lower your knee down to the mat. And same options on this side as there were on the other. You can use blocks to make this more accessible for you. You can bring your forearms to blocks of the mat. You can stay upright with your hands planted on the mat. Whatever feels good to you and your body. And remember, wherever you are is the perfect place to be. If those negative thoughts creep in, acknowledge them, then let them go. Replace them with a positive thought. You're going to stay here for a few more breaths. Settle in. Wherever you are, go ahead and tuck your right toes, and then move any blocks out of the way if you've been using them. And slowly step your right foot forward to fold. Inhale, half lift to a straight spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Sweep your arms up high overhead. Exhale your hands to heart center or down by your sides. Take your feet out wide, a little wider than hips distance apart, and even take your toes to about a 45-degree angle, so your knees are going a little outside. Keep your hands at heart center, and then slowly begin to squat down. We're heading into a Malasana squat. Allow your knees to head out that same 45 degrees, tracking over your toes, all the way until your hips meet your heels. Then, slowly, with as much control as you can, bring your arms out long in front of you, and slow, come back onto your hips until you sit back. Take your legs out long in front of you, and then sit up tall. Bend your right knee, bring it in towards your chest, and then cross it over your left thigh. So it's on the outside edge of your left thigh. Take your left arm and hook your elbow around your knee so you can give it a little hug. Plant your right hand behind you and twist. The twist here comes from your core. So you're not cranking yourself around through the strength of your arms. Instead, you're lifting up through the crown of your head and twisting using your abdominal muscles. And the hug with your left arm should be very gentle. Again, the twist is coming from your core. Slowly unravel here. Bring your right foot back to the right side of your left thigh. Give it one little squeeze in, and then send it out long on your mat. Bend your left knee. Bring it into your chest. Give it a little hug. Then cross it over your right thigh. Same thing, other side. This time your right arm is going to hook your left knee, left hand behind you for a little twist. Same thing on this side. The twist comes from your core, from your abdominal muscles. If you're using your arms to crank yourself around, release the grip and just use your core. Breathe deeply. Slowly release the twist. Bring your left leg back to the left side. Give it a little hug and send it out long. You can give your legs a little jiggle here. If they need it, maybe you squeeze on your thighs a little bit. And then bend your knees and allow both feet to come together. So we're in Baddha Konasana, bound angle. Now with this, I prefer to keep my feet out long in front of me so that I make a diamond shape with my legs. And then I like to hold on to my ankles. Wherever you are, sit up nice and tall so your spine is still very straight, rising up through the crown of your head. And then actively work with your muscles on your legs, your outer muscles, to pull your knees down. So you're not pushing your knees down with your hands with external force. Instead, you're using your muscles to pull your legs open. Think about really lengthening your inner thigh. Keep that straight spine and keep breathing. On your exhale, begin to round your spine. Allow yourself to fold forward as far as you can go. Breathe in and out deeply. Inhale your way back up, all the way to the top. You can use your hands to slowly start bringing your knees back together. And then plant your feet on the mat, knees bent. Put your hands beside your hips and just windshield wiper back and forth. I find that this feels good after taking bound angle for my outer hips. I like this release. Once you're ready, plant your feet out long on the mat in front of you. Plant your heels down on the mat. Bring your arms parallel to your legs. And then we're going to do just a little bit of core work here. Hello, Binks. This is my dog, Binks, for those of you who have not met him. Then we're going to do just a little bit of core work here and slowly begin to lower ourselves down to the mat as slow as possible with as much control as you can. When you find that place that's just a little bit shaky, stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then exhale and slowly lower down. All right, now that you are on your back, bend your right knee. Take your left ankle over top of your right knee. So you come into this figure 4 stretch here, or reclined pigeon. And you can stay here working on actively using your leg muscles to draw your left knee out. Again, not pushing with external force, but instead letting it come from your muscles. Or you can take a hold of the back of your right thigh with your fingertips. Or if you're even more flexible than me, you can grab the outer shin of your right leg, whichever feels best for you and your body. Wherever you are, actively flex your left foot. You should feel a stretch in the outside of your left hip. Exhale and slowly release that down. Bring your left foot to the mat, then cross your right ankle over top of your left thigh. And same options here. You can stay here and actively work on using your thigh muscles to pull your knee out long in front of you on the right side. Or you can grab the spine behind your left thigh or even your left shin. Wherever you are, flex your right foot. Point those toes up to the sky. And you may find that one side of your body is a bit more flexible than the other. It may feel different from side to side. This side is a little bit tougher for me. Continue breathing in and out fully. And slowly release the grip. Lower both feet down to the mat. And then pull both knees in toward your chest. You can take a little rock side to side. This is wind removing pose. I like to rock side to side gently because I feel like it's a little massage on my low back. Then take your arms to the insides of your thighs and grab the outer edges of your feet, and then lift your feet up to the sky. Happy baby. Continue breathing in and out deeply here. You can close your eyes. Relax into this happy baby pose. And then slowly release the grip with your hands. Bring your knees back together. Take your hands out long on your mat into a T, palms up. And then allow your legs, your knees, to drift over to the right side for a twist. You can keep your gaze up at the ceiling, or you can turn it over your left shoulder for a bit more twist. Breathe deeply. Fill your lungs. See if there's anywhere that you can relax here. If you're holding tension anywhere, begin to slowly let it go. On your inhale, bring your knees back to center and drift them over to the left side. Your gaze can stay up at the ceiling or take it over your right shoulder for a bit more twist. And same thing on this side. Continue breathing deeply in and out. See if there's anywhere you're holding a bit extra tension. Try to let that go as we draw to the end of our practice. Inhale your way back to center. You can wrap your arms around your knees. Maybe give yourself one more little hug here. And then slowly release that. Allow your legs to fall out long on the mat. Coming into our final resting pose, our Savasana. You can allow your feet to fall out long. Allow your palms to face up toward the sky. Close your eyes. Release any tension here. Allow your thoughts to turn inward. Begin to rest. Bring your awareness back to your breath. The gentle rise and fall of your chest, of your belly, and then slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring life back into your extremities. Begin to circle your wrists and your ankles. Point your toes, sweep your arms up overhead. Take a good morning stretch. And slowly begin to bend your knees and make your way to your left side. You can use your bicep as a pillow, a resting place for your head. And when you're ready, slowly begin to push up into a seat using your right arm. Come to any seat that feels comfortable to you. Maybe keep your head bowed, eyes closed. Bring your hands to heart center. At the end of a yoga class, you typically hear the word namaste, and that translates to the light in me sees and honors the light within you. And that is very true today. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me. Thank you for joining me on this journey. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. Namaste. You photobombed me. You did.
My job was to make it.
You did it. You did it. Do you want to show off now? Since that's all you wanted to do the whole time? Hey, come here. You want to show off? You want to show off? Hey, I know what we could do. I know what we could show them. Thanks. Come show me your down dog. Come here. Come show it to me. Good boy. Good boy. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's very sweet.